I'm Marcia, sitting in the wicker chair on the balcony, holding a hot cup of tea. I feel a sense of relief that I haven't felt in months. The suburban morning is tranquil, with birds singing and leaves rustling. The fresh air sweeps away the lingering worries in my heart. It's all thanks to that fateful turn of events that made me break free from the prison of a broken marriage. My husband, Ethan, and I had shared nearly 9 years of marriage. I grew up in a middle-class family. My parents were kind and hard, working people who taught me the values of honesty and loyalty. Ethan, on the other hand, came from a well-to-do family. His parents were ambitious and often pushed him to achieve more in his career. It was a seemingly ordinary evening when I sat on the sofa, sifting through the mail. A receipt for a luxury sedan worth almost $280,000 stopped me in my tracks. We'd never discussed buying a new car, and it was obvious it wasn't for me. That night, when I confronted Ethan in the kitchen, he was engrossed in his tablet, much like the world around him didn't exist. I tried to remain calm as I mentioned the receipt. He quickly flashed his usual smile and claimed it was for a client to make a good impression. But I noticed his eyes avoid mine and his fingers tapping nervously on the table. After dinner, when he went to his study, I checked our joint bank account. The balance had dropped significantly, and there were numerous unexplained withdrawals to high-end boutiques, fancy restaurants, and of course, the car dealership. Gradually, the signs of his infidelity that I had previously ignored started to make sense. Ethan began coming home late, always citing work as the reason. He often took calls in hushed tones, and once, I caught a whiff of an unfamiliar perfume on his shirt. He also forgot our wedding anniversary and spent the night in his study, saying he had a video call with a client in a different time zone. I decided to investigate quietly. I went through every receipt, every bank statement, and even called the car dealership pretending to be a concerned wife. I learned that the car was reserved by Ethan for a woman named Lily. I found out about Lily on social media. She was a young and beautiful woman who flaunted her luxurious lifestyle, with gifts and trips that Ethan and I had never experienced together. I knew I had to take action. Instead of confronting Ethan right away, I started a plan. I gathered all the evidence, from the car receipt to the suspicious bank transactions, and stored them in an encrypted folder. I reported the unauthorized transactions to the bank, and they launched an investigation, freezing our joint account. I also filed a complaint with the car dealership. Meanwhile, I continued to play the role of the loving wife. Every morning, I made breakfast for Ethan, asked about his day, and even suggested date nights. He seemed completely oblivious to my plans, or perhaps he was just too confident in his lies. One evening, Ethan had planned a fancy dinner at a downtown restaurant, a place where we'd celebrated many special occasions. I knew his real intention was to give the car to Lily after dinner. I sat in the car, my hand on my clutch that held my phone with a pre-set call. One press, and the repossession team and detective would start their work. During dinner, Ethan ordered the most expensive dishes and wines, and even arranged for a pianist to play. But his eyes kept darting to his watch. When I asked if he was nervous, he said it was just work, that a client needed his help right after dinner. I feigned disappointment, and he promised to make it up to me later. As soon as he left the restaurant, I pressed the call button. Within minutes, I got a confirmation from the detective. Less than half an hour later, the repossession team informed me that the car had been successfully taken back. When I returned home and waited for Ethan, as the clock neared midnight, he stumbled in, his face red with anger and confusion. He slammed the door, and the keys clattered to the floor. "You're still up," he said, his voice tight. "I was waiting for you," I replied, not looking up from my book. In the following days, Ethan became more and more agitated. He constantly received phone calls and would quickly hang up or pretend to be busy when I entered the room. One morning, he was sitting at the dining table with his head in his hands. He claimed it was just a minor bank issue, that his account was frozen due to suspected fraud. I feigned surprise and offered to help, but he refused. Finally, when Ethan left for good, I was left alone in the house that once felt like a prison. I decided to transform it. I got rid of all the old furniture and decorations that reminded me of him. I hired a team to repaint the walls in warm, bright colors. The living room became a soft lavender, the bedroom a gentle peach, and the home office a clean ivory. I also started taking better care of myself. I did yoga on the terrace every morning and planted more greenery around the house. I reached out to my old friend, Sophia, whom I hadn't seen in years. Meeting her was like opening a door to a new world. She listened to me without judgment and told me how much stronger I had become. I also returned to my career as a graphic designer. I set up a home office and started taking on freelance projects. New clients came my way, and small contracts filled me with confidence. Now, as I sit here planning my trip to Italy, I know that I've come a long way. I've learned to let go of the past, rebuild my life, and put myself first. The journey ahead may still have challenges, but I'm no longer afraid. I'm ready to embrace the new chapter of my life with joy and gratitude.